So thanks everybody for joining us for our number 2 lawyer SEO webinar with the illustrious Nick Kringas, president and co-founder of ApricotLaw. I think we have Nick on. Hi, Nick.
Hi, how are you? I'm here.
And everyone can hear Nick, but now you can see Nick here. Nick has an extensive background, and Nick, I'm reading here that you started off in the family restaurant business. Now you're co-founder and president of a full-service digital marketing agency and top of your game in SEO. How does that happen?
Well, I found a home study course in 2010 while I was managing one of my family's restaurants, and I just fell in love with SEO. I dug right in. My wife said she's never seen me work so hard at anything. I was working through the night, just testing and prodding and seeing what works and what doesn't. And then I met Tom Desmond. I think it was August 2013. I was doing some SEO work for his company, ApricotLaw, and then we partnered together and formed ApricotLaw Inc. in November 2013.
That's impressive. And you know, I think that Nick's being a little modest here. I have in my notes that when you first started getting involved with SEO, you managed to get one of your restaurants to #1 spot with the term Greek restaurant.
Yeah, it was exciting because it was a really competitive phrase. Mostly the ones ranking at the time nationally were from New York City, so there were like big established Greek restaurants, and we were in a smaller town in a suburb of New York, Westchester County. And yeah, eventually it took a couple months. Well, it didn't take as long as I thought. I guess a lot of people weren't. Well, it was certainly competitive, so I guess I'm being modest again. Yeah, #1 for Greek restaurant. It was exciting.
That is pretty lofty. You need to, a little applause for Nick on that. And now with ApricotLaw, if you can tell us a little bit about your current company. You have moved away from food services and the restaurant business, and you're focusing pretty much in law.
Yeah, so let's get right into a few things that we've been able to do with ApricotLaw. ApricotLaw results sample here. The very first slide is the SEMrush SE traffic price for one of our clients. And SEMrush defines the SE traffic price as the estimated cost for visitors coming to a site organically based on the same number of visitors if you were to pay through ads or a pay-per-click basis. And this firm would have paid approximately $31,000 in a 1-month period for the same traffic on a pay-per-click basis that we were able to generate for them in an SEO basis. So that's free traffic in a sense. Stats shown are for a law firm's website built by ApricotLaw from scratch and optimized for approximately 14 months at the time of this screenshot. So then here we are for personal injury lawyer SEO. We rank #1 out of 695,000 results for this phrase, arguably the most competitive market for law firm SEO services. Here are 345 top 10 rankings, including 170 #1 rankings. That we were able to achieve for the original group of 5 law firm clients, and they all have web pages for each one of these keywords. One of our clients shows up.
Wow! So you guys and ApricotLaw are able to rank for not just English but Spanish as well.
Oh yeah, did you see that?
Abogados and some other keyword phrases here.
I forgot where I saw that, but yeah, good eye. Yeah, a lot of it's sort of an untouched market right now for Spanish. It's a lot easier to rank actually for Spanish language, but it's very valuable because it's a small loophole right now that not a lot of SEOs and companies are focused on. So it's a big opportunity there actually. So yeah, ApricotLaw. Here's ApricotLaw's client #1 for a valuable keyword. Brooklyn criminal lawyers. And then even more impressive, and this what really gets me excited, is when we see a client on page 1 multiple times, because we're starting to really monopolize that first page and get the lion's share of traffic coming in for those phrases. The second one is for car accident lawyer NYC, so that's probably one of the most competitive phrases out there. He's in the map section, and then again, number 3, organically with his website. And then in the first one here, we have one that our client wanted to rank for, and we were able to get his YouTube video number 1 organically, and then his website, and then his Facebook post. So that reminds me, and a side note here is that you don't have to just rank your website. A lot of lawyers just want their website to show up, but that's a mistake, because there's so many other authoritative properties that you can use to rank for the same phrase, and that's an example of it here. So then after the webinar, go ahead and download your free copy of the Lawyer SEO Cheat Sheet at bit.ly.com/lawyer SEO cheat sheet. You don't have to do it now, but certainly after the webinar, excuse me, go ahead and download your free copy and do this for your own law firm and see how your own law firm's website compares to your competitors' websites. And we're going to be going through a lot of these terms today, so it'll do you some good to do this afterwards to see how you can put this to use for you and your law firm.
And just so our viewers who are joining us live, I see that we have someone logged in. You can also click to the right of your webinar screen and instantly get to that Lawyer SEO Analysis cheat sheet.
Oh, great. Okay, so let's get started. Today's webinar is one of my favorite topics. It's about analyzing the law firm's backlinks, or really digging in and seeing what makes this firm successful online, that is, and seeing why they're ranking over other firms.
Nice.
So if that sounds exciting,
We're going to be like mechanics today then, Nick.
Exactly. Looking under the hood of law firms' websites. And I have to note that this is probably one of the most controversial things in SEO, because I guess lawyers think that things are private and you shouldn't be able to look under the hood of websites like we're doing here. But you have to remember that online there really are no secrets. So if we're experts at this, and this is our wheelhouse. This is what we do best. And this is why we're able to come in and just completely outmaneuver, outstrategize our clients' competitors. So the first one is Anaheim Personal Injury Lawyer SEO. And I'll get out of this nifty PowerPoint presentation.
What made you pick Anaheim?
Well, it was actually one of the cities that we analyzed in our Lawyer SEO analysis nationwide that we did.
Cool.
And there was a couple interesting firms that I want to go through, but it was out of the 150 or so cities that we analyzed. For today, it was pretty random, but it's also it's a pretty competitive market. And then when we get into Atlanta, I believe it is next, that's one of the most competitive markets in the United States, actually.
So we're not playing around, we're really getting into it today, huh?
No, we'll get into it.
All right.
So the first thing we do is we go to Google and we search for the term personal injury lawyer Anaheim, so that we can find a few firms to dig into here. So as I was saying before, case in point, the very first listing organically is a YouTube video. Let me turn on the Moz bar. And if you don't have it, you really should get it. It's called the Moz bar, M-O-Z-B-A-R. And you can get that for Chrome or Firefox. And it gives you metrics at the top of any website that you're visiting, so that you can do this while browsing the web. And also it puts these nice statistics underneath the search results for every search result. So I want to pick a firm here that I believe is pretty strong in terms of SEO. And I'm looking specifically at the DA and PA here. And you'll notice that YouTube obviously has a domain authority of 100, because it's probably one of the most authoritative websites on the web. And we'll skip the ones like the lawyer directors. We want to go straight for a law firm. And the strongest one I see here is bestattorney.com / personal injury lawyer. So I want to just go to this. Let's go to this firm's site first. Before we dig into what makes it click, I want to show you a few on-page elements that this firm is doing right and that you should be doing mimicking if you want to rank for Anaheim personal injury lawyers. So the first thing I notice is that it has an H1 tag right on the page that's ranking that has the exact keyword that they want to rank for, Anaheim personal injury lawyers. So that's one of the on-page factors, having it in an H1 tag, and the title of the page. The title, you can tell it's the title by looking at the tab up here, and if you hover over it, it'll tell you the title, and it says Anaheim personal injury lawyers. So they have it right there in the title, and they also have it in the body in the H1 header tag. And they may also have it down in the actual text, but no need to search for that. Next, while we're here, you also want to go ahead and steal some of their keywords if you're in the same market, and you can go and look at in the drop-down menu in the practice areas. This is what we like to do. You can just take these for your own: auto defects, brain injury, car accidents, catastrophic injury, and so on. And then if you want to get even more detailed here, you can go into each of these pages, like car accidents, and you'll find other keywords that you can target. Yeah, you see here like hit and run accidents, so that's a keyword, and that they have a page just for hit and run accidents. Okay, so let's get into the analysis of their website. So what we do is we take just the domain name without the www or HTTP, bestattorney.com, and we come over here in majestic.com, and without a subscription you can get a few searches a day for free. And you put it here, make sure it's on root domain, and this is just going to get an overview of the firm to see how strong the website is before we dig into their actual backlinks with a different tool. So first of all, I want to say that the trust flow is extremely high. Anything over 10 is pretty strong. This means that the websites linking to the site are relevant or of the same niche or topic area or subject area. And this, you can see that most of the sites linking to this are from society or law, which is directly related. The citation flow 38 also very high. Anything over 10 in either of these numbers is strong. Once you get into the 20s and 30s, you're starting to get pretty strong as a website, pretty authoritative. Citation flow is the number of links, the link flow pointing to the website in a 90-day period. You'll see here that the referring domain 767, that's quite a lot. 67,000 backlinks, that's also a good amount of links coming from a decent number of referring domains. So by all means, this is a strong website. Let's see what we can model from them and steal from them. Look at the index URLs. The next thing you want to look at is the size of the website. They have over 18,000 pages on this website. So I didn't see a blog, but most of the time a website will have a blog, and they've probably been posting to it for quite some time. Either that or just putting up new pages to rank for different keywords, one after the other, probably every day for a while. 18,000, that's a lot. The anchor text profile, and before you start building even one link to your website, this is probably the most critical thing that we can talk about is anchor text right now, because it's the #1 reason why websites are either penalized or filtered off of the first page. Like recently we've seen websites or people come to us and say, I was ranking on page 1 for all of these targeted terms, and then all of a sudden the next day I was on like page 15 or nowhere to be found. And 95 out of 100 times the problem is the anchor text. So go do this for your own site, but this is a really good anchor text profile because this slice of keywords is so small, and the majority, over 93%, are other anchor text. So what that tells me is that this firm has a big, diverse group of keywords that they use in their links. And so before we even go into anchor text, I want to make sure that you know what that is. Jenny, have you ever heard of anchor text before you got started working for Apricot Law?
I have, but not to the extent, if that's
Yeah,
what you're looking for.
because a lot of lawyers don't even know what it is, and so they hurt themselves because of their ignorance. So here
No,
in
yeah,
Apricot, so in anchor text, this is a link, because when you hover over it, it shows a website down here that it's going to link to. See, you hover over it in the bottom left, it shows a website. And it also puts up that little hand to say that it's clickable. That's a link.
sure.
Anchor text are the words in the link. And that is actually the anchor text of this link, anchor text. Down here, another link with the same anchor text. And here, another link with the anchor text FAQs. So those are anchor text. And in the past, it was a loophole in Google that if you wanted to rank for the term Anaheim personal injury lawyer, all you would do is use anchor text Anaheim personal injury lawyer in all the links that you built. So no matter where you got links in the past, all you'd have to do was put Anaheim personal injury lawyer over and over and over again, and then you would rank for that term, which is obviously a big loophole. And Google shut that loophole and continues to improve on their anchor text ratios. But the point of the lesson is here that we don't want you to become anchor text experts, right? But if you're going to build even one link to your law firm's website, then I suggest using the firm's name or the firm's URL or the domain name. You can't go wrong, and you can't be penalized for having too many links pointing back to you by name. And as a matter of fact, Google thinks that that's a great ranking factor these days, that people are actually referring to you by name, or your name is being mentioned online and being linked to with that as anchor text. So that's a good thing. And you can see here, that's a good example. See, John Bisner is probably the attorney's name. Bestattorney.com, that's a brand name using the website. So the top three are, and mind you, they're only used, Best Attorneys use the most, 2.41% of the time. That's really low. So the top three are his website, and then the attorney's name. And the first keyword anchor text that we see is California. Excuse me, as I find it. It's harder when the sliver is so small, but if you hover over it, it'll tell you the actual term. So California personal injury lawyers is something that he wants to rank for, and it's only used 0.45% of the time. And I understand that this website has 67,000 backlinks, so that's why this sliver is so small. Like if you only have 100 backlinks and you're using the term California personal injury lawyers 3 times, then your percentages are already higher than this. I understand that. But you don't want to have this percentage be anywhere over 3 or 4%. Then you're starting to get a little bit risky that Google will filter you out of the first page for that term because of this anchor text over optimization. So the point is, use as many of the brand name and URLs as you can, because that's the safest way to build links. And if you come to us one day and you say, you know, I want to be your client and I want you to optimize for the term California personal injury lawyer, and you have a bunch of brand anchors, you know, that's just awesome. What a foundation we have to work with, and we're just so far ahead of anybody that comes to us with 20% of their anchor text being California personal injury lawyer, because we have to work months just to get that percentage down where it needs to be to a healthy percentage before we can even work on ranking the website. So build a good base of links if you're doing this on your own, and if somebody else is doing this, make sure that they're doing this as well. So I think I've beaten that horse. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. And, you know, I don't think that it felt sort of like a trick question when you asked me whether I'd heard of anchor text
Yeah.
before, but, you know, people need to understand and consider that people like yourself, people like myself, we've come from a digital marketing background, even, you know, before working with you guys at ApricotLaw. it's okay if attorneys and the people managing your law firm's websites might not understand everything that you're going through, which is the
Right.
point of the webinar, because you're busy handling cases and your own clients. But I think what Nick's trying to say here is it's an easy way to improve your site's ranking. If you don't have people in your own team to work on this, you can go to another company or people like us at Apricot Law.
Right. Right. Great. So if that's clear, then let's get into exactly what's making this website tick. And to do that, I like to go over to a different tool. See, I use Majestic for the overview because it usually finds more links pointing to the website, more of the actual links, because you have to keep in mind that any of these tools are not going to come back with the same exact results because they function differently as a software. So this, in my opinion, finds more of the links, but I like the way that Open Site Explorer from Moz, moz.com, gives you the PA and DA, which are the metrics that I love to look at in terms of how authoritative any website is and how powerful any link is. And those are two metrics that Moz actually came up with and created. So that's why I like to look over here for that. So let's take this same URL of one of the top ranking law firms in Anaheim and plug it in here and see what happens. Okay, so here the first thing I want to do is under inbound links, I don't want to just see the links pointing to that one page, which happens to be the home page. I'd like to instead do the root domain to see all the links pointed to the site for this exercise. And I want to see where those links are coming from, what websites are pointing to this firm to make it so powerful. So keep in mind that, all right, let's go to the homepage of bestattorney.com quickly. And this website has a page authority of the homepage of 50, which is equivalent to a page rank, a Google page rank of 5 out of 10, which is really strong for a law firm's website. PageRank has been done away with. They're not going to be updating it to the public anymore. So Page Authority, or PA, has replaced that as the go-to metric of influence for any web page on the web. And it comes out of 100, so 50 out of 100 is equivalent to a 5 out of a 10. The domain authority of the entire website is a 40, and that is the cumulative power of all the pages combined give you the domain authority. So the home page here is very strong. They're optimizing the home page heavily, and this is sort of a mistake that I see almost every single attorney make, is that they optimize the home page for they want it to rank for every keyword under the sun, and that's fine, but you want to spread that out a little bit more and use your inner pages for ranking and the home page for branding, and focus more of the links site-wide than just on the home page. So let's jump into this firm's actual links. Enough blabbing here. Okay, the very first and top link, the most powerful link, has a PA of 69. And in terms of a link's power, you want to look at the page authority, not the domain authority. So it's being sorted now by page authority, but if it isn't, then you want to click on this to sort by page authority. 69 is the most authoritative link coming to this website. And let's take a look at that site. So to find the link on the page itself, I want to look at what the anchor text was. The anchor text was Dave C. So if you come over here and you go Control F on your PC and put in Dave C, you can see that what it was is a comment link on this page linking back to the site. So this is something that you can do right now. If you find a website with a really high PA, let's say a PA 69 like this one, and they have a comment section. Let's see, sometimes they close the comments, and it's not great if it has So let me rephrase that. The more comments and more links coming off the page just means that the power of this page will be diluted to each one of these. So picture a colander or a strainer. At the bottom of a colander, you have holes at the bottom. And if this website only had one hole out of the bottom and it was pointing all to your website, then your website would be the main recipient of all that link juice and nutrients. But instead, this one has, let's say, 30 holes at the bottom of that colander. So obviously that link juice will be diluted, and each one of those websites will get less of that powerful link juice. So it's not as powerful and rank improving as if you had just one link on this page. Okay, I think we're only going to be able to get to Anaheim or this one website today, which is fine with me. I hope you enjoy this or appreciate. What do you think, Jenny? Are we at a good pace and just dig in as far as we can to this one website?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we did have someone join in, and Ethan or any of the other users, feel free to ping through our chat here whether there was something else that you wanted to review. Otherwise, I think Nick's gonna try to get as much value as possible and looking at one.
So what do you think? What do you think personally, Jenny?
I think that we should keep going.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
You know, if this is what we're going to be doing with our weekly webinars, we can explore Atlanta and Reno at another time.
Okay.
Focus on the Ducks.
The Anaheim Ducks. All right, so back to this link, right? So we found this comment link, and this is the most powerful link coming to a top-ranking site, bestattorney.com, as seen by the Open Site Explorer tool by Moz. And it's from this page of PA69, very powerful. If you click on this link, it'll open the page that it's linked to. In this case, the homepage, bestattorney.com. Okay, so you see how that works. That's a link that we found, and unfortunately this page has closed comments. But in your normal day when you're surfing the internet, if you come across a blog or a site that accepts comments at the bottom and it's super relevant to your site in terms of subject matter, and also these metrics are really strong, and you can't know this unless you have this Moz toolbar. So I'm promoting this Moz bar, but I use it every single day with every website that I go to. If you find a site that accepts comments and has anything over like a PA 30, go ahead and leave a comment. I mean, don't just say something that doesn't make any sense just for the link. Try to add value. Actually read what's being said and comment on it. But normally, if you say something reasonable and valuable, and this in fact, I mean, was approved, but probably shouldn't have been, because it seems pretty thin as a comment. But it was approved, and he got a link. So let's go on to the next one. For attorneys, this is the #1 directory that you want to be listed in for an SEO benefit. It's called $1 Million Advocates. Out of over 300 sites that we analyzed on the first page of Google for personal injury lawyer terms, this showed up by far the most. The page itself where you get the link on is now a PA61. That has gone up a little bit. So that's really powerful for an inner page of a directory to have links on. And as you can see, there's a ton of links on here. But the successful companies all have them, so you should too. I don't know how much it costs. I think it costs a yearly fee to be on this forum, and they may have to approve you. But this page here, and let's find the actual link. So bestattorney.com. He's using the anchor text, like we said earlier, of his URL. Find that link. Okay, so here it is here. Right, so this links right back to this person's homepage on a PA61 page. Very strong. After that, YouTube. So this person's, I don't know if this is a video or a YouTube channel. All right, so this isn't actually a channel. So anytime you have a YouTube video, please put a link back to something relevant on your website. Usually the video page won't be a PA59. And I'll tell you a little bit of a secret to SEO in a second. Because normally when you publish any page, no matter if the domain authority is 100 or any domain authority, the PA will be a 1 when you first publish it. And let me see when this, so this was published in 2013, about a year and a few months ago, and now has a PA59. So I'm not sure how it got that high, but I will speculate a second. But when you put up any new page on YouTube, put a link in the description back to your website. This is a great link. It's on a DA100, which is really trustworthy. It's owned by Google. You can only put links with the HTTP naked link, it's called, with the address, so that's good. It will never get you in trouble. And then down here again, he has another naked link and related videos. So this guy knows what he's doing. He's linking to other videos that the user might find helpful. Really good example of a good link. So here's the secret. Normally, a new page published on any site, doesn't matter the DA, will be a PA1, right? And if the DA is high, that just means that the PA is a lot easier to improve than if the DA was very low. If the DA of this page was a 10 or a 15, and that means that the site was just, it's pretty new and not authoritative at all. It's a lot higher to raise this PA. But since we're on a DA 100, all this takes to get this up to a PA 59 is a few links back to this actual page, this URL. So like I said before, don't just focus on your own website, because it's not just one-way backlinks that help you. It's not just this link pointed to your actual website that helps you. It's also the links pointing to these links that point to your website. The way to boost their authority and power is by linking to those. And I'm not saying that that's what happened here, but most of the time, if an interpage like this has a high PA, this person is linking to this to raise this PA to make this even more of a powerful link going back to his website. So that's some advanced SEO there. Next, yearofscience.org/home. I can only imagine what this is. I think it's an image link, maybe a paid banner ad. Let's see. So yeah, it says image alt is California, so it's an image to best attorney. I won't spend too much time trying to find the image, but somewhere on this page is an image that links back to this website. Oh yeah, down here. So these supporters, so this is a paid link, a banner ad linking back to this law firm's website. So, I mean, as a law firm, you can go right here and ask them to include you, and I'm sure this is probably only, I don't know, $100 or so to have the image linking back to your website from a PA 56. Okay, Scoop It is a social bookmarking site. Let's see what they have here. Okay, so this is, I believe, their Scoop It page. Let me see. Oh yeah, so he just basically has a profile and bookmarks all of his content on here, which is really smart. A lot of people, they just publish the content on their own blog and then wait for somebody else to share it. And this person is taking action and sharing their content on their Scoop It page. Where you can use other bookmarking sites like Delicious, Reddit, Dig, FriendFeed to bookmark all your content. So here's their super lawyers profile, a PA51. PR Web. This is another press release, another link that I see on so many top-ranking personal injury law firms' websites are the pages of their press releases on PR Web. And the reason why I like PR Web as a distribution over any other online press release distribution service is because it actually gets published. Even if you pick the lowest plan for your press release, I think it's $100, it gets published on a really powerful page on prweb.com. And this person has done, and these are the same press releases. Let's go and see the actual press release. So it's a PA50 page, which is really strong, right on prweb.com. So here are the links here. And he actually uses premise liability, which is a broad term. So I don't mind them using the keywords sometimes, because it's important for ranking is to actually use the keywords sometimes, just not often. So here you go. I mean, it's just filled with links back to the guy's website. Ooh, and check this out. We found other sites that the guy owns. This is cool. This one's not found anymore. California Injury Blog. So this firm has another blog on the same topic, and basically they just own this site that can link back to their main website as much as they want, and it's a PA40. So as you can see, they're not sitting around waiting for other sites to link to them by chance. They're proactive and they're building these links, which are, in Google's eyes, there's nothing wrong with it. This is a blog that's relevant, and they link back to their own website. So that's just normal business sense. So any questions so far? Everybody following?
I believe everybody's following. We did get a few questions for our Q&A portion if we are almost done with our Anaheim law site.
Yes, 2:40, it's about that time. I hope you found this helpful. We dug into this firm's links, which was cool, one of my favorite things to do. Now for a quick message, and then we'll get into the questions portions. Okay, so here's a special offer for anybody watching this. We've set aside some time to speak with you personally, and during that time, we'll evaluate your law practice and work with you collaboratively to create an immediately actionable plan to increase the number of targeted visitors to your website. There is no charge for this call, and there's no catch. If you enjoy the conversation and get value from it, we can discuss working together long term. Here is some of what you'll get on the call. We will spy on your competitors so you can see what they're doing that's working and copy it for yourself, saving months of testing on your own. We will come up with the keywords you should be targeting so you can attract the ideal prospects for your practice. We will uncover possible problems with your website that might be holding you back so you can either correct the problem or stop wasting time and money on a dead site if that's the case. And why would we offer this? Number one, we enjoy helping attorneys grow their legal practices and help more people in need of their services. Number two, this is how we attract clients. So how much does it cost to become a client of Apricot Law? Depending on the current health of your law firm's website, the competitiveness of your market, and your business goals, being a full-service client will require a minimum investment of $60,000 paid in 12 equal monthly installments. This strategy call will not be a sales pitch disguised as a free consultation, if that's what you're concerned with. Of course, there's no obligation to become a client. nor do we accept every person we speak with as a full-service client. Regardless of whether we end up working together or not, you will get a valuable report about your law firm's online presence and an actionable plan you can use right away to start getting more traffic to your website so you can attract more ideal clients to your law firm. To prove how serious we are about delivering value to you on this call, we are offering an unheard of guarantee. If you feel that we have wasted your time, we will send you a check for $1,000 as compensation. So the three possible outcomes of this call are, number one, you will love the plan and decide to implement it on your own. If that's the case, great. We wish you the best of luck, and we just ask that you keep in touch from time to time to let us know how it's going. Number two, you love the plan and ask to become our client. If that's the case, great. We love taking on new clients. Number three, in the unlikely and unprecedented event you feel we have wasted your time, we will send you a check for $1,000. So in any of these scenarios, you come out ahead. This is not for everyone. We are very picky about who we'll speak with, and we have a strict but reasonable set of criteria that needs to be met in order for us to proceed. So here are the criteria. Number one, I have success and credibility in a certain area of law already and would like to take my practice to the next level. Number two, I own my own law firm and/or I am authorized to make decisions about marketing for the firm. And number three, I understand that being a full-service client of ApricotLaw will require a minimum investment of $60,000 paid in 12 equal monthly installments. So what to do next? If you meet all four criteria points and would like to schedule a call with one of the founders of ApricotLaw, visit the web address below and submit your information on the page that opens. We will review your application and get back to you within 24 hours with a response. That address is bit.ly.com/lawyerseo, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. So now for the questions portion of this webinar. I'd just like to put, hold on one second, I'd just like to put this slide up so that people know where we are in the recording. So go ahead. Any questions, Jenny?
Okay, so our first question that has come up is, number one, will taking from competitors' keywords for use on your own site only strengthen the other site's ranking?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, and I apologize if that was a little bit unclear, because from the question it appears that I led you a little bit astray. So what I meant by taking other people's keywords, like let's say, for example, you come to bestattorney.com and you're an attorney in the same market in California, Anaheim, and you find some keywords on here. Let's see, practice areas. So I shut down the Mo's bar so we can see.
Like dog bite injury, for example, Nick.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we see dog bite injury attorney and California dog bite lawyers, and we don't have that on our website, or we're not targeting this, and we want to target this. So what I mean is that you should get all of these keywords and build your own page on your own website to target the same keywords. So these people have done the work for us, and they have found that California dog bite lawyers get searched and attracts clients to their company. So why not, if you don't already have this term on your website, take this term and build your own page. So it's not going to be anything copied from here, and we're not linking back to the site at all. We're building our own page so that we can target it on our own website and possibly rank for this term above them. To take that traffic, instead of that going to them, it would be going to your firm. So the only way that it would strengthen their website is if we linked back to this page, but there's no need to. We're not taking anything from this page. All we're taking is the actual keyword, and we're doing our own thing with it. We're not linking to the page, and therefore we're not strengthening the page in any way.
Sounds clear to me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that answered that user's question. Our second question also is actually based on this Anaheim's law firm site review.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the Anaheim law firm site didn't have a blog and is doing well. Then does my firm need a blog if we don't have one already?
Yeah, first of all, I think that this does have a blog, but I can't find where it is. It may or may not, but I think it does have a blog. Um, for SEO purposes, the blog helps with the size of the website. So the more, I mean, from a user perspective, yeah, you should definitely have a blog. From a sales perspective, it's the number one way to engage with your market, especially if you're doing so on a regular basis, updating that on a regular basis, and getting more and more visitors to that blog. But from an SEO perspective, it shows Google that someone's caring for the site, providing valuable information on a regular basis, and that counts for a lot in SEO. It's much better than a stale site that's just sitting there with the same exact content. So Google trusts a site with a blog more because it's being refreshed on a regular basis. And also, from an SEO perspective, two things. Number one is the site gets bigger with every blog post you publish because the number of index URLs goes up. And second, also very important, is that you can link from the blog posts back to important pages on your site that you want to rank. I don't have an example off the top of my head from, let's say, ApricotLaw.com.
And while he's pulling that up, I think that to your point, if a law firm doesn't have a blog, you should get a blog to help establish your authority. And it isn't necessarily about posting memes or you know, fluffy content. It's just another chance for a law firm to keep users going back to your site and reestablishing that expertise that you have.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to ask you your opinion in just 1 second. The last thing I wanted to say about that was it's important that you link to other pages on your website because Google sees those and counts those as links. And the more links going to those main pages that you want to rank, those landing pages, the better for their ranking. Also, to your point, Jenny, is that it keeps people on the site longer, which is a ranking factor these days called time on site. And also, it lowers the bounce rate because if somebody comes to your site and then leaves right away from the page that they came in on, it's called a bounce, which is not good for a user experience, and that's a ranking factor these days. So a blog will keep people on there longer, and it will have people clicking around your website from link to link and page to page to decrease, that bounce rate. So Jenny, I had a question for you actually. You might know more about this than I do because you were from a digital marketing agency background.
Oh boy, being put on the spot.
No, any other things that you can say about having a blog or how it affects your site in terms of, from a broad marketing perspective, let's say, not an SEO perspective?
Well, I mean, I think that's what I had just said previously. Like, we're looking specifically at law firms' websites, and I think that it's a good chance to help establish the authority. It's in other cases, if this was a different type of client, you might be helping and telling a brand story, or helping with brand awareness, and to an extent that's true as well. But I think even most importantly for law firm sites, it's a way to keep your firm on top of its game. If certain things are happening in the law world that affect your area of expertise, whether it's family law, personal injury, your blog's a perfect place to show users that, hey, we are on top of this. Here's what our team has to say about it. Here's our opinion on it, and it helps to go beyond just what you serve in the About Us section. It gives it all. So in a way, it does tell your brand story because it helps to give life to your firm's site.
Yeah, I like that for that reason as well. It just gives it a personality, which I'm big into, and lets people know who you are. And eventually people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So I think that's exactly what it does, is help people get to know you, like you, and trust you.
Yeah, and a lot of times clients are looking up for specific reasons when they're trying to find an attorney, whether they, we looked at dog bite injury. There might
Hmm.
be something in their particular scenario that they're looking up, and then they'll stay, as you said before, they stay engaged. They'll be looking through the search. They'll find different articles you might have written
Hmm.
about different scenarios that apply to them, and it all kind of works in tandem with the SEO. So it doesn't, it's not a separate, um, it's not a separate tactic. It all works together.
Right, right. Okay,
But
thank you for
Nick,
that.
we
Any
have
other
another.
questions? Hmm.
Yes, we have two more questions. I'm going to skip to number 4 because we're talking about blogs.
Okay.
Someone had written question number 4. Does it hurt our rankings to just keep our comments off on our blog to avoid trolling and spam?
Yeah, I mean, turning your comments off on your blog, I think, is a mistake. There's a number of reasons why it's beneficial. It's just that you're going to have to be diligent about moderating it. I wouldn't have it auto-approve. God, no. I mean, auto-approved blogs are like spam heavens because software goes out there and finds these auto-approved blogs, posts them, and it's automatically on your site. That is a no-no. So have it on moderate. I like the discuss comment system because, like we said in a short SEO tips video, it doesn't link back to the person's website. It links to their Discuss profile, so it gives it more of a social aspect and feel. And also, it detracts away from spam comments because they're not linking to the site, which is what they're looking for. If you have a WordPress blog, you can get Akismet, Akismet, Akismet. That's a plugin that you can get to block spam, and it does a pretty good job of blocking that spam. And I know it's a problem, and you're never going to get rid of a bunch of spam coming into your site, especially after you get more and more authoritative as a website. But definitely have comments. For an SEO reason, the benefits are that these are considered fresh, unique content being added regularly to your site. So Google looks at it as not that somebody else wrote the content. They could care less. They look at it as that your site's getting bigger, it's getting refreshed, people are engaging you, and that means that the quality of the content must be really high because people are talking and responding to what you wrote. So for those reasons, I would absolutely keep blog comments on the site.
And just to add, because I know that Nick is basically saying it takes a little bit of effort, but it's well worth it.
Mm-hmm.
For firms who don't, people might not realize that there are companies who help do this type of work for you. So, a service like ApricotLaw or another agency, if you're working with another agency, sometimes as part of their blog or site maintenance, they will also moderate all of your comments for you as well. So if they're not doing that for you, you can ask about it, and then maybe they'll get mad
Nice
that
plug.
I said that.
Nice plug.
Okay, we have two. Actually, I was wrong. We have two more questions because I had another one just come through our chat feed. But I'll go back to number 3.
Jenny, sorry to interrupt you. The last thing I have to say about blogging is that it doesn't have to be like a long, blog post of 1,000 words or 2,000 words. It could just be like a 250-word, just quick status update, which is like a few paragraphs. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. The most important thing I think is just to keep it consistent. If you want to blog, let's say once a week, just stick to that schedule because users get accustomed to that calendar.
Mm-hmm.
A great book on that is Epic Content Marketing. If you are interested in the topic, I love that book. That's all I had, Jenny. So what was the next question?
Okay, so for that I skipped to number 4 because it had to do with blogs. So I'm going to go back to question number 3. Don't worry, we didn't miss your question. It was, how long will it take for my firm's site to increase its page authority or domain authority if we are pretty low?
Great question. Great question. Well, the Moz index updates monthly, which is a lot better than PageRank used to be like every 3 months, then it went to 6 months, then it went to a year, and now they stopped it. So every single month it updates. And if you're just building these like regular links to your site, like directory links and just real foundational stuff that you need anyway. Like you're creating these Web 2.0 properties like YouTube, Google Plus, which is associated, Tumblr, and just all the surrounding sites that you need for your firm's website anyway, for your presence, just building those and linking to your site. Usually it jumps like, let's say a DA would jump from 1 to 15 almost right away just with that foundational stuff. And then after that, it's really, I hate to say this, but it's just too big of a topic to get into in this.
Maybe that's fodder for our next webinar.
Yes.
User number 3.
What it comes down to, Jenny, for DA, what it comes down to for DA is borrowing the domain authority of other well-established and high-authority websites on the web. So like I said, Google Plus, LinkedIn, but having links from those boosts your domain authority, and because it relays that trust over to you. On the page authority side, it's page specific. So if a page is not getting any links at all, then the page authority will probably stay at 1 for a while because your website's DA is not very high, so it's not going to borrow that. So the page authority comes from the number of links to that specific page. And links, you can go out and build them, or you can attract them from how good your content is. So number one thing to do every time you publish content, or if you want the page authority to go up, is to share that content everywhere that you can to expand its reach, and in the meantime build backlinks in that way to that site to raise the PA. So how long does it take is a hard question to answer, but normally it's not uncommon at all for it to go up 5 or 10 points each if you're actively promoting them in that 1 month time where they adjust the Moz index.
Great. I like how that question, I believe that question popped up after you had mentioned downloading the Moz plugin. So,
right.
So people who are doing that, feel free to keep asking those types of questions when Nick mentions different tools or devices, because we'll always get him to clarify anything that is unclear. Our last question is from Ethan, actually, a repeat user, and the question is, does the age of a website have much of an impact on SEO? If a site's been around for a while but has been updating sporadically and or overusing certain anchor texts, will it be at an advantage or disadvantage compared to a brand new site?
That's a very good question. The age of a site matters, but very little. It matters, just the age itself matters because Google sees it as more trustworthy. That's a given. But it all boils down to, after that, the links that are pointing to the site. Because if a site is 13 years old, but nobody's linking to it, and even though there's pages on its site, but it's stale, nobody's linking to it, that site's not going to be found or rank very highly at all, period. So the age is good in terms of get you into a trustworthy mode with Google, and it allows you to be a little bit more aggressive with linking. If you want to build more links to the site, you can do that easier with an older site, because if a site is only a few weeks old, you can't go ahead and build a bunch of different properties, let's say 100 by the hundreds, all linking back to that site, because it's sort of it's in like a probationary period in the first 6 months to a year, we like to say. But as it grows older, Google pays less attention to it, frankly. And if you link to it aggressively, then it won't be penalized. But in terms of an SEO perspective, if a site is older, no, it has no bearing over a site, or it has no added strength to that site compared to a site that's a year old. If the site is a few weeks old and you're going up against a site that's 12 years old, then yeah, that site is going to have an advantage, even though that new site might have more links and content on it. but after like that 6-month period or a year period, you're pretty much on level footing with that site. So that goes out the window. So I hope that answers the question.
No, I think that was a great answer. So those were all our questions, and as promised, any question that got posted to the wall or sent to our email address was answered by Nick. And if we have any other questions to help explore other topics in future webinars, you could email us, right, Nick, at info@apricotlaw.com, or you can find us on Facebook. If you look up the Facebook group,
I know what it is.
Lawyer SEO Company.
Facebook.com/Lawyer SEO Company.
Yep, Lawyer SEO Company. Or you can even look up Apricot Law on LinkedIn. And those are all ways to reach Nick if he didn't answer any of your questions today. But Nick, as usual, you're very informative, a lot of bang for your buck. And
thank you for your free dollars.
Yeah.
For your time. Time is most important.
Yeah. So I think I'm checking one more time in the chat feed. I don't see anything else, but if there's anything else you wanted to add to what you've been discussing.
No, I mean, just in closing, like we normally close our weekly meetings at Apricot Law, we have a one-word closing, and the only thing I would say is build brand links, especially if you're just getting started, because you can't go wrong. Meaning the anchor text. So build anchor text brand links if you're just getting started. And that's it. So Jenny, thank you very much. You did a fantastic job. You helped me tremendously. I like doing it with you as opposed to just one-on-one, getting that feedback.
Well, we get a lot of it's helpful, and I'm getting a lot out of it as well. And as the questions fly, you're going through a lot of information. And just to add, it's not expected that you're going to get all of this right away, which is if you check out our Facebook page or our Apricot Law blog, Nick will be putting the replay of the webinar in the next couple of days so that you can re-review. And I was glad to be able to pull all the questions together and keep to our promise that we're just trying to help get this information to your law firms as it applies to your specific needs. So that's always fun.
Okay, Jenny. So I'll see you next Tuesday at the same time, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
All right, great. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.